Thanks for coming back. After many years, the Frederick County Airport is ready to roll out an expansion which would enable the airport to handle much larger aircraft. Bob, do you think there will be any negative impact on Washington County Regional Airport from Frederick's expansion?
You know, I mean, it may become a little harder to entice some companies who want to be at an airport of our size and with our runway. I don't think it's going to be impossible. You know, one thing that we have done very well, and actually Washington County Regional Airport has done very well with, is marketing our airport to those companies that need that kind of space for, you know, either shipping or receiving things and stuff like that. So I mean, again, it may become more difficult in the years to come, but probably for the next 2 or 3 years, you know, if their expansion takes anywhere near as long as our expansion took, I'll be dead already. It won't matter. I mean, it's just, you know.
Yeah, and it's what, 600 or 800 feet of runway.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I
you
think
think it'd be
that's-
easy. You think.
Well, yeah, it may
but
not
it's
be
not,
because they have
yeah.
some other issues they got to
Right.
face with
There's
that.
environmental regulations
Yes.
tagged on it.
And
Part
right
of it,
now,
yeah.
and they have buildings that they got to tear down that are in the
Yes.
way. And
Not to mention the fact that there are all those sinkholes that keep popping up on that side
Yeah,
of
that
the
would
Oxy
be-
River.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, I think the kind of, and I think it's a non-issue personally, I agree with you. And the reason I think it's a non-issue is our runway was already expanded to be able to accommodate much larger planes because of the location. And there's no danger of Frederick ever being expanded to be a national airport for the simple reason it's too close to BWI and to Dulles. It would make no sense, and too much of a traffic nexus. So much more sense to make Hagerstown Regional Airport a national airport because it would serve the whole Chambersburg, Martinsburg, Hagerstown metropolitan area, which is one of the largest metropolitan areas in the country.
Well, even, you know, they could be serving Frederick, Gaithersburg. I mean, it's probably as quick to
Well, it'd
drive
be-
out from some of those places to our airport
because
here.
you're going against traffic, exactly.
Exactly, and I think they should really investigate more of that, but I certainly wouldn't be losing sleep
You know, and
over
and-
this if I, you know, Hagerstown
No, exactly.
Airport.
And don't forget that federal funding takes forever, and we've seen that, you know, every year there's always this threat of shutting down control towers. You know, so I mean that's all going to come into play at some point in time again. But
Well, ultimately, whatever the FAA makes the ultimate decision where to put an additional airport. I think, you know, Hagerstown Regional Airport is actually set up, or a regional airport is actually set up to be an airport. We have a terminal, whereas Frederick is more of an air park.
Yeah.
And it's meant to
Yes,
mostly
yeah.
service private aviation and service charter planes, not so much actually act as a terminal.
Yeah, and there's so much
As some
other
kind of a hub,
yeah,
right.
aircraft-related business along with that out at the airport, which I think makes it attractive in all kinds of other ways. And it's a nice facility. And
There's a
I
lot of
don't
technology.
see
You have
why
Sierra
we would
Nevada,
be
you have all
nervous.
these other companies. that
Yeah,
are-
and it's the third largest in the state in terms of the business revenues it generates, this airport in Hagerstown already.
But unfortunately, you talk to some of the naysayers in this county and some of those NIMBY people and cave people, and you know, they are just up in arms about the fact that we did a runway expansion at the
Yeah,
Hagerstown,
but I mean,
Washington.
gee, I mean, you could land almost any plane there,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
really, which is a great plus that Frederick
Well,
will never have.
Up to and including for strategic reasons, obviously,
Yes.
because of our proximity to Camp David. So
Yeah.
that was a factor that played into it as well.
Sure it was.
Which gives us a certain degree of security in terms of towers and that kind of thing as
Exactly.
well,
You
that
would
Frederick
think,
is just
yeah.
not going to get.
Well, even I mean, the secret stuff they do with, you know, planes and everything for the government also might just keep that airport there, you know, and those runways. So any plane they need to modify can
Right.
land there.
Right.
Right, exactly. And
So
you
I
do
wouldn't worry
see
about
a
it.
fair amount of military traffic landing at
Yes.
You do.
Hagerstown Airport.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And even though our proximity to Martinsburg is still, I mean, it's still land at Hagerstown.
Right.
So.
And there are 1,500 jobs associated with that airport.
And,
Even
and,
now.
and you've got the school.
Yeah,
You know,
the school that's there.
The Aviation Institute. So
Yeah, I
it's,
think it's,
you know, I mean, again, I believe that we are headed in the right direction with our airport and what they're doing and the way that they market it and the economic benefit that comes to. Now, granted, they don't pay any taxes out there.
Right.
Okay. But that's okay because it's not always about the tax. It's about creating the jobs and the people with expendable income and. You
Well,
know,
as the
all that
airport
stuff,
grows,
so.
then those people would become part of the tax base. Which
Oh my gosh, you would think so.
So-
Yeah. It's yeah. I mean, it's again. I don't think it's going to be a problem, at least in the near future whatsoever. So.
I mean, I certainly would like to see more growth here.
Yeah.
But I think we're pretty much going to wrap that. So I'll take the last word on that. Coming up, vulgar comments by recently appointed County Commissioner Woody Spong. Could this affect his confirmation? Stay tuned.